Hey everyone, my name is Greg. I'm a principal here at Collectiv and excited to be talking with you today about ChatGPT and Power BI.
Hi, I'm Darren. I'm another principal here at Collectiv, and as Greg has just said, we're here to talk about ChatGPT and Power BI. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, you must have been under a rock for a while, and I'd highly recommend that you go to ChatGPT and ask it what it is.
You get stuck on maybe how to write a DAX equation, or stuck on Power Query, or even wanting good examples of how to represent a sales report or represent a financial report, or how do I best trend my gross margin analysis. These are all questions that you can ask ChatGPT, and as ChatGPT enhances itself, I think the answers that come out of it are going to be even more better to enhance the analysts that are using Power BI as well as the end users that are using Power BI. ChatGPT can work in a variety of ways with Power BI, but in my mind, the best use case at the moment is by asking certain questions to solve some things that you might be having problems with inside of Power BI. That's, the first and foremost is solving any DAX equations you might have issues with. So I'm looking how to create, maybe a simple DAX equation, how to calculate total revenue for last year. Maybe I'm new to the tool and I don't know how to do that. I can simply ask ChatGPT, how do I write this DAX formula? And it should give me with that answer. Same thing if you're writing a Power Query, any Power Query coding, if you're looking at writing SQL coding. I know that's not Power BI related, but again, if you're wanting to write a query for it, it's going to give you what it thinks you're trying to solve. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to do your own due diligence to validate what it's provided to you. Now, I think as the tool continues to, advance, it's going to get even better at giving you those answers. But you still have the responsibility to, at the end of the day, do your own validation, make sure that it is giving you what you're looking for. The other area I think that would be great to see some enhancement in is in the budgeting and forecasting world. So like right now you hear you got to build out maybe a machine learning model or some AI model to help you predict your forecast. If I can simply ask that question to ChatGPT and don't have to build something out and say, hey, show me what my forecast should be based upon the last 2 years of historical data. And all I have to do is ask the question and then it will give that to me based upon what's already in my historical data set. I mean, think about all the time you can save and actually all the costs that you can save as a firm to have somebody build that out for you. So if that's something that you can actually do and then take that data and put it into one of your scenarios or put it into your forecasting model, that's just going to enhance your reporting and the predictability of how your organization is operating and forecasting as a whole.
Yeah, and in fact, that's kind of one of the leading edge arenas certainly in Power BI that has been integrated with ChatGPT. There's a few of our clients that we do budgeting and forecasting work for where certain visuals are now available with ChatGPT already integrated into it. And one of the use cases that's first off the mark has been that sort of budgeting and forecasting aspect of it. Increase sales by 10%. How does that kind of translate down to the bottom line? Do a bottom-up budget and kind of spread and allocate this data across your data model. So that's a really interesting arena, both from a perspective of using with Power BI, but then also using Power BI kind of for those kind of future-focused tasks of actually pushing data into the Power BI environment.
One thing that I think would be very interesting to actually get out of this would be, when ChatGPT gets to that level, or maybe it's already there, we just don't know it yet, is allow it to analyze your data model and actually analyze all the reports that your organization is already looking at and have it discover, hey, you're not actually looking at this metric and here's how this metric can maybe benefit. So maybe I'm not looking at, like you said, top sales by my top 10 clients. Maybe we need to be looking at a different metric by like gross profit rather than total revenue. So actually having it uncover a metric that you should be using to operate your business.
Obviously, one of the key things for anybody who's used ChatGPT, especially around certain subjects and so on, is to make sure that the answers are correct as well. It's not kind of the oracle of all truth. We know it has its flaws and it can make mistakes. And also, strangely enough, large language models like these have problems with things that you would have thought would be fairly easy for it, like certain mathematical problems. Recently, there was highly publicized errors in a large language model looking at explaining compound interest and things like that. So you just need to be careful and kind of due diligence on it, as Greg said, as well.
You got to double check it. You got to still have that human interaction, or otherwise you're going to get further down the line and kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and then there's also a couple of other warning labels that should be mentioned with ChatGPT. If you're starting to put, financial information and proprietary confidential information, even though those searches belong to you according to the terms of use from OpenAI, that obviously that data is being stored somewhere. So I'd advise you not to put anything in there that you don't want to be out there in the public domain potentially. So with all technologies, let alone GPT, there's a lot of negative thoughts around, how is this going to affect my job, or how's this going to, affect the job market, that sort of thing. That sort of human level interaction, in my belief, will still always be there, however advanced these technologies get. Being able to sift through a lot of data or options and make a decision will be enhanced by a lot of these tools. So I think it's just an additive thing. So as opposed to analyzing a report, filtering on slices and things like that. Using natural language processing, which is available already in Power BI and has been around for a little while, but in a much more intuitive way, and to be able to kind of dig deeper into more detailed questions. So, what are my top 10 customers? Okay, out of those top 10 customers, who bought the red product, and kind of digging down on that in that generative way on all of that data in a much more normal fashion for general business users, whether they know Power BI or not.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, it's just going to enhance the types of services and capabilities that consulting firms, as well as just the analysts and developers internally at organizations, can provide. To me, the biggest thing, it's knowing how to use that tool, ChatGPT, with Power BI. So it's, the tool is only as good as that process you're surrounded with. So Power BI, great tool. Combining it with ChatGPT, even better tool. Having an individual that knows how to use both and work well with both is what I think the future holds for the current landscape of anybody that's looking to enhance their career with the tool set.
There's a role both for those humans within your organization, plus also partners and consulting organizations like ourselves.